بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على سيدنا ومولانا محمد وعلى آل سيدنا ومولانا محمد وبارك وسلم وصلي عليه في كل لمحة ونفس عدد ما وسعه علم الله. Welcome today to the chemistry of Tajweed al-Huruf, final lesson in these series, inshallah. We're going to be beginning with Surah At-Tariq, inshallah. We completed up to Surah Al-A'la last lesson. So Surah number 86, Surah At-Tariq, inshallah, will begin today. And I've got Brother Salim with me, inshallah, who's going to be joining us. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. How are you?
Alhamdulillah wa alaikum assalam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Shall we begin? أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم
والسماء والطارق
والسماء والطارق
وما أدراك ما الطارق
وما أدراك ما الطارق
النجم الثاقب
النجم الثاقب
إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ
إن كل نفس لما عليها حافظ
فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق
فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق
خلق من ماء دافق
خلق من ماء دافق
يخرج من بين الصلب والترائب
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 إنه على رجعه لقادر
إنه على رجعه لقادر
يوم تبلى السرائر
يوم تبلى السرائر
يوم تبلى السرائر
يوم تبلى السرائر
فما له من قوة ولا ناصر
فما له من قوة ولا ناصر
والسماء ذات الرجع
والسماء ذات الرجع
رجع
رجع.
So you do the qalqala of the jim, and as the qalqala is finishing, you bring the sound of the ayn in. Okay? Raja.
رجع.
والسماء ذات الرجع
والسماء ذات الرجع.
Excellent. والأرض ذات الصدع
والأرض ذات الصدع
إنه لقول فصل
إنه لقول فصل
وما هو بالهزل
وما هو بالهزل
هزل.
هزل.
Yeah. So don't push the air from your lungs. So nice and relaxed from your أقصى الحلق. وما هو بالهزل.
وما هو بالهزل.
هزل. Get the
هزل.
z.
Okay.
The z sound must be there.
وما هو بالهزل.
Yeah. وما هو بالهزل.
وما هو بالهزل.
إنهم يكيدون كيدا.
إنهم يكيدون كيدا.
وأكيد كيدا.
وأكيد كيدا.
فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا.
فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا.
MashaAllah, brilliant. So a few rules I want to discuss in this surah. So number one, وَالسَّمَاءِ وَالطَّارِقِ. Here the mad is 4 to 5. Okay, 4 to 5 haraka. Qalqala on the word طارق. طارق. And again, this is at the end of an ayah where we're doing waqf. So this qalqala is going to be wadih, it's going to be clear. So so this will be qalqala kubra. Okay, where we're doing the waqf. If we were going to continue, we wouldn't do the qalqala here. We'll read the kasra on the qaf. So that would read as والسماء والطارق وما أدراك ما الطارق النجم الثاقب. So here on the first ayah والطارق, so you're not doing no qalqala at all. وما أدراك here is مد منفصل, so you can read from 2 haraka or 4 and 5. And then matariqu. The second tariq is madmum. It has a dhamma on top. Okay. So with the dhamma, again, we're not doing the qalqala if we continue. So وَمَا أَدْرَاكَ مَا الطَّارِقُ كُن نَجْمُ الثَّاقِبِ. Okay. Again, with the thaqib, again, qalqala in the end. And if we were to continue, no qalqala. And najm, also, we've got a qalqala on the letter jim. Now here, if we begin the ayah from ayah number 3, we must recite it as an-najmu thaqib. If we're joining from the previous ayah, we won't read the hamza. Okay, and so we're going to be reciting the tariqun kun najmu. Okay, so this hamzatul wasl will drop. Okay, so the hamzatul wasl is only there to aid us. Why? Because you got a sakin and a sakin. 2 sakins you can't begin with. Okay, so and again alif, and then the lam here here is shamsiya and najmu. So you're not reading the lam like the Qamariya letters. So an najmu.
One question here. Which harkat do you know to put on that alif when reading an-najmu? Fatha, Dhamma, or Kasra?
So here an najmu, it's a simple rule. You normally look at the ain kalima. So you need to know a bit of grammar.
Okay.
Okay. So it's either going to be a fatha or it's going to be a dhamma. Okay. So either it's going to be a fatha or it's going to be a dhamma. So here you got an najmu. So wherever you got alif lam, Alif Lam, Al, it's always going to be a fatha on any noun, like Ash-Shams, As-Sama, okay? The book, the pen, the anything. It's always going to be a fatha on the Alif Lam. But it gets more complicated when it comes to like verbs, okay? Like Uqtulu Yusufa. Uqtulu Yusufa instead of Yusuf. Okay, do you read a fatha or do you read a dhamma here? Okay, so you need a bit of grammar. So you normally look at the second kalima, the second one. If it's a dhamma, you're gonna read it with a dhamma, like Uqtulu Yusuf. If it's a fatha or a kasra, you're gonna read it with the a fatha. So here we're reading as an-najmu. Similarly, which I wouldn't do, but if I was to start, for example, like was-sama'i wat-tariq, if I didn't read the waw in the beginning, okay, I would read as-sama. Same with wat-tariq, without the waw, at-tariq. At-tariq, okay. So it does get a bit complicated when it comes to verbs, etc. But here we're reciting with an-najmu thaqib. If you continue, and if you join the previous verse together, then it's going to be tariqun najmu thaqib. Okay. The other one I want you to point out was so in kullu you did ikhfa harakatain nafsil lamma. Again here you're doing idgham. Again حركتين لما again idgham حركتين حافظ. So fa is going to be empty mouth, dha full mouth. حافظ. Take it inside. Then you got فلينظر. Here the nun sakina, you're going to be doing ikhfa. Ikhfa is going to be full mouth. Why? Dha is also full mouth. فلينظر الإنسان مما خلق. قلقلة on the end of خلق. Then خلق من ماء دافق. Here this mad is mad muttasil. It's mad within one word. So we're going to be reciting it 4 or 5 حركة. يخرج من بين. So here من بين is إقلاب. إقلاب again حركتين. والترائب. والترائب again is a mad 4 to 5 حركة.
Okay.
إنه again here we're doing غنة حركتين. Okay. إنه مد حركتين. على رج قلقلة. عيه مد حركتين. لقادر. Then we've got يوم تبلى السرائر. Again this mad is 4 to 5 حركة. فما له من here من إخفاء you're doing full mouth. قوة إدغام حركتين 2 حركة. والسما again is مد متصل. So والسما, السما comes numerous times in the Quran. It's always going to be mad muttasil. So it's very important to work out which ones are muttasil, which ones are munfasil, where you could make them short, where you must make them long. وَالْأَرْضِ again, the word ard again, earth, comes numerous times in the Quran. Hamza is empty mouth, Ra is full mouth. إنه لقول فصل. Here you got إخفاء again حركتين. And then in the next ayah وما هو بالهزل. هزل. So you're reading the zain هز. And just before you finish the z, you got the l sound. هزل. Okay.
So you just say just a little bit of lam, not all.
Lam, yes. إنهم. Here you're doing إظهار on the meme. يكيدون كيدا. كيدا again حركتين. If we were to continue, we would read the فتحتين or فتحتان. And that would be read as إنهم يكيدون كيدا وأكيد كيدا. Now here كيدا, why? Because you got a tanween فتحتين in hidden nun sakina. Nun sakina with the yarmalun letter after it. The yarmalun letter is in the beginning of next ayah. So kaydan wa akidu kaydan famahilil kafirin. Okay. So whenever you got fathatain, normally when you're doing waqf, you take one fatha away and you read the alif. Okay. So فَمَهِّلِ الْكَافِرِينَ أَمْهِلْهُمْ رُوَيْدًا. So you're doing إظهار. أَمْهِلْهُمْ, you're doing إظهار رُوَيْدًا. Again, you got fathatain at the end. And if you were to continue, we have ba after it. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. So then we would have to do iqlab here. And that would be as follows. فمهل الكافرين أمهلهم رويدا بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبح اسم ربك الأعلى. Okay, so رويدا بسم الله, رويدا بسم الله. You don't read it as رويدا بسم الله. Okay. So these are the main rules concerning Surah Al-Tariq, inshallah. I would like to bring in
Jazakallah.
Wafika barakallah, Sidi. I'll bring in a young talent, Hashim. How are you?
Assalamualaikum. Alhamdulillah.
Wa
How are
alaikum
you?
salam wa rahmatullah. Not too bad, not too bad, mashallah. So Hashim is the youngest learner live on the live broadcast, and alhamdulillah, Allah bless him and Allah increase him, inshallah. The Imam from Jamaat al-Azhar, who also watches this program, last night watched, and was full of appraisal for Brother Hashim for coming on and reciting with us. And he was praying for Hashim's well-being and praying that Allah increases his knowledge and taqwa, inshallah. Jazakallah. We're going to begin with Surah Al-Buruj.
Okay.
You ready?
Yes. Inshallah.
Inshallah. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim.
والسماء ذات البروج.
والسماء ذات البروج.
واليوم الموعود.
واليوم الموعود.
موعود.
موعود.
وشاهد ومشهود.
وشاهد ومشهود.
قتل أصحاب الأخدود.
قتل أصحاب الأخدود.
النار ذات الوقود.
النار ذات الوقود.
إذ هم عليها قعود.
إذ هم عليها قعود.
وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود.
وهم على ما يفعلون بالمؤمنين شهود.
وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد.
وما نقموا منهم إلا أن يؤمنوا بالله العزيز الحميد.
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض.
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض.
Okay. Again, الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض
الذي له ملك السماوات والأرض
والله على كل شيء شهيد.
والله على كل شيء شهيد.
إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا فلهم عذاب جهنم.
إن الذين فتنوا المؤمنين والمؤمنات ثم لم يتوبوا فلهم عذاب جهنم.
فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق.
فلهم عذاب جهنم ولهم عذاب الحريق.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار.
So here من تحت
من تحتها الأنهار.
من تحت
من تحتها الأنهار.
Excellent. Let's try that again. إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار.
إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم جنات تجري من تحتها الأنهار.
ذلك الفوز الكبير.
ذلك الفوز الكبير.
Yeah. So here the ra is going to be empty mouth. Okay. Kabir.
كبير.
Okay, but don't make the ra too long. Kabir. Don't go too long. Yeah, very short. Kabir.
كبير.
Shorter than that.
كبير.
Shorter than that.
كبير.
Yeah, Kabir.
كبير.
Excellent. ذلك الفوز الكبير.
ذلك الفوز الكبير.
إن بطش ربك لشديد.
إن بطش ربك لشديد.
إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد.
إنه هو يبدع ويعيد.
Again. إنه هو يبدئ همزة ويعيد.
إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد.
Good. إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد.
إنه هو يبدع ويعيد.
Yeah. So be careful because the first hamza is first one is a hamza, second was a ain. The first one is going to be from your aqsa al-halq, the first part of your throat. The second one is going to be from the middle of your throat. So يبدئ يبدئ
يبدئ
ويعيد.
ويعيد.
Excellent. إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد.
إنه هو يبدئ ويعيد.
وهو الغفور الودود.
وهو الغفور الودود.
ذو العرش المجيد.
ذو العرش المجيد.
فعال لما يريد.
فعال لما يريد.
هل أتاك حديث الجنود.
هل أتاك حديث الجنود.
فرعون وثمود.
فرعون وثمود.
فرعون وثمود.
فرعون وثمود.
بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب.
بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب.
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 بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب.
بل الذين كفروا في تكذيب.
والله من ورائهم محيط.
والله من ورائهم محيط.
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 بل هو قرآن مجيد.
بل هو قرآن مجيد.
في لوح محفوظ.
في لوح محفوظ.
MashaAllah, very good. I'll quickly run through the main rules in this surah. So I won't go through the whole surah. So beginning you got wasama. Again, just like the previous surah I mentioned, the mad is muttasil. You must make it between 4 and 5 haraka. And then you've got qalqala, end of the first ayah, buruj, second ayah, maw'ud, third ayah, mashhood, fourth ayah, ukhdud, then fifth ayah, waqud, then you got sixth ayah, qu'ud, seventh ayah, shuhud, eighth ayah, hamid, the ninth ayah, shaheed, 10th ayah, hariq, and then on the 11th ayah, there's no tashdid. So the first 10 ayahs, sorry, not tashdid, qalqala. The first 10 ayahs, you're doing qalqala at the end of every single ayah. On the 11th one, kabir, empty mouth. Why? Because the ra, we're making it sakin due to waqf. Prior to the letter ra, we have a ya, and prior to the ya, we have a kasra. So here we're going to be breaking that sound, which I discussed yesterday. Kabir. And then we return back to the qalqala again. Ayah number 12, La Shadid, qalqala, Wa Yu'id, qalqala, Wadud, qalqala, Majid, qalqala, Yurid, qalqala, Junud, qalqala, Wa Thamud, qalqala, Takdhib, qalqala, Muhit, qalqala, Majid, qalqala, Mahfuz, no qalqala. Okay, so you've got qalqala in every single ayah in the surah, apart from 2 verses. The last verse and verse number 11, which is kabir. They're the 2 ayahs. There's no qalqala at the end of the verse. Remaining of the ayat all finish with the qalqala. Now, al-qalqala, when you have a ta and you're doing waqf upon it, like wallahu min waraihim muhit. Okay, محيط. Just like Majid. Majid. And the ta would be محيط. Okay, so it's the sound of ta resonating again, inshallah. Rest of the rules are quite obvious, which we've discussed virtually every single surah, so I'm not going to go through them again. So you just Al-Kabir, the Ra here is going to be empty mouth when you're doing waqf, inshallah. Barakallah feek. Jazakallah, Brother Hashim, inshallah.
Jazakallah.
I'll see you again very soon. Let's bring up Brother Muhsin. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I can't hear you. Mute.
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. Sorry.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh. That's nice and clear. How are you?
Alhamdulillah. You okay?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, not too bad. So, Surah Al-Inshiqaq.
Inshallah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
إذا السماء انشقت.
إذا السماء انشقت.
وأذنت لربها وحقت.
وأذنت لربها وحقت.
وإذا الأرض مدت.
وإذا الأرض مدت.
وألقت ما فيها وتخلت.
وألقت ما فيها وتخلت.
وأذنت لربها وحقت.
وأذنت لربها وحقت.
يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه.
يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه. فملاقيه.
فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه.
فأما من أوتي كتابه بيمينه.
فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا.
فسوف يحاسب حسابا يسيرا.
وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا.
وينقلب إلى أهله مسرورا.
وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره.
وأما من أوتي كتابه وراء ظهره.
الظهر همزة empty mouth. ظهره.
ظهره.
ري.
ريح.
Yeah, ري. Good. فسوف يدعو ثبورا.
فسوف يدعو ثبورا.
ويصلى سعيرا.
ويصلى سعيرا.
إنه كان في أهله مسرورا.
إنه كان في أهله مسرورا.
إنه ظن أن لن يحور.
إنه ظن أن لن يحور
بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا
بلى إن ربه كان به بصيرا
فلا أقسم بالشفق
فلا أقسم بالشفق
فلا أقسم بالشفق
فلا أقسم بالشفق
أقسم أقسم.
أقسم
Yeah. So you're not pausing after the qaf. Don't pause after the qaf because that would become a bigger qalqala, yeah? فلا أقسم أقسم أقسم
فلا أقسم أقسم
فلا أقسم بالشفق
فلا أقسم بالشفق
والليل وما وسق
والليل وما وسق
والقمر إذا اتسق
والقمر إذا اتسق
لتركبن طبقا عن طبق
لتركبن طبقا عن طبق
فما لهم لا يؤمنون
فما لهم لا يؤمنون
وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون
وإذا قرئ عليهم القرآن لا يسجدون.
So here, after class, we will all perform a sajda, which I spoke about yesterday, and the dua in relation to the ayah of sajda. بل الذين كفروا يكذبون
بل الذين كفروا يكذبون
والله أعلم بما يوعون
والله أعلم بما يوعون
والله أعلم أعلم بما يوعون
والله أعلم بما يوعون
فبشرهم بعذاب أليم
فبشرهم بعذاب أليم
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون
إلا الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات لهم أجر غير ممنون.
Jazakallah. So a quick few points in regards to this surah. Obviously the main thing in this surah, which I've mentioned yesterday, in yesterday's class, is in regards to the sajda of tilawa. So the sajda of tilawa, I believe it was yesterday or the day before yesterday. I've spoken quite depth. So
Was day before yesterday, I think.
Yeah, day before yesterday. So وَإِذَا قُرِئَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقُرْآنُ لَا يَسْجُدُونَ. Numerous places in the Quran there is a sajda of tilawa, and the way to do a sajda tilawa, I'll remind everybody again, just in case somebody hasn't listened or heard the lesson from a few days ago, is that if you're sitting position, okay, you go into tashahud, and you go into sajda. Okay, if you don't know the dua of sajda at-tilawa, just read Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, Subhana Rabbi al-A'la, sit down. There's no involved. Okay, must be wudu. Wudu is action, some takbir, basing your hands, etc. The dua in التلاوة سد وجهي للذي portray the one who has created my face.
Can't hear you. I think something problem. I don't know. Anybody else is. Can you hear me?
Is that any better?
Yeah, it's okay now. Yeah. Again.
That should be better now.
Yes, okay.
Alhamdulillah. So the dua for sajda is سجد وجهي للذي خلقه وشق سمعه وبصره بحوله وقوته فتبارك الله أحسن الخالقين. So it's a very short dua, and this was the dua that Sayyidah Aisha radiallahu ta'ala anha, she narrated that I heard the Messenger of Allah sallallahu alayhi wasallam recite this dua whilst they were in sajda during the recitation of the Quran. So this sajda is wajib, it must be done. But if you are memorizing, if you recite the ayah once, you do it once, you recite it twice, you do the sajda twice. Now, if you're a student like I am, okay? So if you're a student like me and you're repeating this ayah numerous times, okay, you're memorizing, for example, or you're trying to perfect your tajweed and you're reciting, you're like, وَإِذَا قُرِئَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقُرْآنُ لَا يَسْجُدُونَ وَإِذَا قُرِئَ عَلَيْهِمُ الْقُرْآنُ لَا يَسْجُدُونَ لَا يَسْجُدُونَ لَا يَسْجُدُونَ. You're trying to memorize it. So you're repeating the ayah again and again and again. You might repeat it 50 times, okay? So in that sitting, in that jalsa, okay, whilst you're memorizing, you will only perform one sajda, even though you repeated the ayah 50 times. But if I got up and walked away, I done my sajda, I walked away, I had a cup of tea, I relaxed, then I came back to sit down and study my Quran again, and then I was to start reciting the same ayah again, I must perform the sajda again. So in one sitting, in one lesson, in one halqa of learning, you recite it only once. So regardless of how many times you repeat this ayah. And there's a hadith of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam mentioned that when this ayah comes in the Quran, and the son of Adam, and he does the sajda and recites this dua, okay, does the sajda to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, shaitan gets very emotional and very upset, okay, and rightly so. And he starts cursing himself, okay, and pitying himself. That pity be upon me, woe be upon me. You know, I refused one sajda to Adam alayhi salam, and the Bani Adam, the children of Adam, whenever Allah orders them to do sajda, they perform sajda. For them there is heaven, for me there is hellfire. So even shaitan acknowledges this sajda, and each time we do this sajda, it actually burns and hurts shaitan. Okay, A'udhu billahi minash shaitan rajim, inshallah. So that's the main thing in regards to this surah. Again, it's a chapter, Surah Al-Inshiqaq, that has the beautiful sajda. And this sajda is not a burden. And a lot of people try to avoid reciting, this surah. Why? Because there's a sajda. Or, Surah Alaq, Iqra bismi rabbika alladhi khalaq. So the last ayah, there's a sajda. Even the Qurra will avoid reciting the last ayahs in tilawah. So sajda is not a burden upon us. So it's a blessing, and you must do this sajda. Okay, and this is the sajda that upsets shaitan. So why should we run away from it? So we should recite the ayahs of sajda. Now, if the sajda comes in salah, okay, so when you recite the ayah of sajda, Allahu Akbar straight into sajda, just like your Imam Sahiban do in Taraweeh prayer. Okay, so in Taraweeh, what do? They do Allahu Akbar, go straight to sajda, and then Allahu Akbar, then stand straight back up again. Okay, so this is the sajda. So something that we should embrace and not run away from. Other than this, if you look at some of these verses, Surah Al-Inshiqaq begins with hams upon every last ayah for the first 5 ayat. Okay, so إِذَا السَّمَاءُ انشَقَّتْ, قَتْ, hams at the end. Same with وَحُقَّتْ, hams at the end. مُدَّتْ, hams at the end. And وَتَخَلَّتْ, again hams at the end. وَحُقَّتْ, again hams at the end. So it's not like a ta marbuta that you recite as a ha, like the surah that we done, هل أتاك حديث الغاشية وجوه يومئذ خاشعة عاملة ناصبة تصلى نارا حامية. Okay, وجوه يومئذ ناعمة. So the ta marbuta we were making into a ha. So here we're not doing that. Here we're actually reading it. Why? Because it's actually a ta that looks like a boat. So if a ta looks like a boat, we must recite the ta fully. Then there's a little change in the style. يا أيها الإنسان إنك كادح إلى ربك كدحا فملاقيه. Okay, so the style changes. The next ayah بيمينه. So ayah number 6, there's a ya, so you could elongate that. فملاقيه. Okay, and you could do ishba with 6 harakat if you wish. Okay, but the 7th ayah, it's not ishba, there's no mad at the end, so biyamini. Other than that, all the other ahkam we've dealt with. Do remember you've got some qalqala at the end of ayah number 16, 17 and 18 and 19. So bishafaq and wama wasaq and idha tasaq and an tabaq, inshallah. So the rest of it, inshallah, should be wadih. So let's begin the next surah, Al-Mutaffifin. And I would like to bring in Brother Mustafa. Are you here?
Assalamu alaikum. Can you hear me?
Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
Wa alaikum salam wa rahmatullah. How are you?
Alhamdulillah, I'm good. How are you?
Yeah, alhamdulillah, good.
MashaAllah. So Surah Al-Mutaffifin, inshallah.
Okay.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم.
ويل للمطففين.
ويل للمطففين.
الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون.
الذين إذا اكتالوا على الناس يستوفون.
وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون.
وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون.
Again, your net dropped. وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون.
وإذا كالوهم أو وزنوهم يخسرون.
ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون
ألا يظن أولئك أنهم مبعوثون
ليوم عظيم
ليوم عظيم
يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين
يوم يقوم الناس لرب العالمين
كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين
كلا إن كتاب الفجار لفي سجين
وما أدراك ما سجين
وما أدراك ما سجين
كتاب مرقوم
كتاب مرقوم
ويل يومئذ للمكذبين
ويل يومئذ للمكذبين
الذين يكذبون بيوم الدين
الذين يكذبون بيوم الدين
وما يكذب به إلا كل معتد أثيم
وما يكذب به إلا كل معتد أثيم
إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين
إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين
أساطير أوكي. إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين
إذا تتلى عليه آياتنا قال أساطير الأولين
كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون
كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون
كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون
كلا إنهم عن ربهم يومئذ لمحجوبون
ثم إنهم لصال الجحيم
ثم إنهم لصال الجحيم
ثم يقال هذا الذي كنتم به تكذبون
ثم يقال هذا الذي كنتم به تكذبون
كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين
كلا إن كتاب الأبرار لفي عليين
وما أدراك ما عليون
وما أدراك ما عليون
كتاب مرقوم
كتاب مرقوم
يشهده المقربون
يشهده المقربون
إن الأبرار لفي نعيم
إن الأبرار لفي نعيم
على الأرائك ينظرون
على الأرائك ينظرون
تعرف في وجوههم نضرة النعيم
تعرف في وجوههم نضرة النعيم
تعرف في وجوههم
تعرف في وجوههم
تعرف في وجوههم نضرة النعيم
تعرف في وجوههم نضرة النعيم
يسقون من رحيق مختوم
يسقون من رحيق مختوم
ختامه مسك
ختامه مسك
وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون
وفي ذلك فليتنافس المتنافسون
ومزاجه من تسنيم
ومزاجه من تسنيم
ومزاجه من تسنيم
ومزاجه من تسنيم
عينا يشرب بها المقربون
عينا يشرب بها المقربون
إن الذين أجرموا كانوا من الذين آمنوا يضحكون
إن الذين أجرموا كانوا من الذين آمنوا يضحكون
وإذا مروا بهم يتغامزون
وإذا مروا بهم يتغامزون
وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين
وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين
وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم منقلبوا فكهين
وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين
أوكي أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين.
وإذا انقلبوا إلى أهلهم انقلبوا فكهين.
وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون.
وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون.
Again. وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون.
وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون.
Okay, so here, you know the madud, the first mad,
Yeah.
qalu, you've got 2 or 5, between 4 and 5, okay? So could you make
Okay.
it short here, mad munfasil. Inna ha also, you can make it short. Ha, you could also make it 2 harakah, if your breaths can be short. Ula, this ula, you must do 4 to 5. You can't make any short. And then
Okay.
you've got labadloon, 6 harakah. Okay, so here you have to make it long. So you can't make the dal short.
Okay.
So here you must make it long. Ula, you must make it long. The 2 madud before that, you can make it short.
All right.
Okay, so if you want to compromise on a mad, for example, make it on the qalu innaha. So that would be recited as وَإِذَا رَأَوْهُمْ قَالُوا إِنَّ هَؤُلَاءِ لَضَالُّونَ. Okay, so try that.
وإذا رأوهم قالوا إن هؤلاء لضالون.
وما أرسلوا عليهم حافظين.
وما أرسلوا عليهم حافظين.
فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون.
فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون.
Okay. On yad, don't do kalkala.
Okay.
فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون.
فاليوم الذين آمنوا من الكفار يضحكون.
Excellent. على الأرائك ينظرون.
على الأرائك ينظرون.
هل ثوب الكفار ما كانوا يفعلون.
هل ثوب الكفار ما كانوا يفعلون.
Barakallah feek, Jazakallah. Quickly, a few rules in this surah. I'll go through a few of the ayat. طبعا, verse number 14. كلا بل رَانَ. So here we've got the sakta, where you break your nafas. Sorry, you don't break your nafas, but you break your sawt. So your sound cuts off, but your breath you don't break. So you recite it as كلا بل ران على قلوبهم ما كانوا يكسبون. So you're breaking the sound only, not the. Okay, afterwards. I'm teaching now. I'm teaching. Ask Adam. Go. So that's the ayah number 14. And other than that, the remaining of the rules we've discussed in some form. Verse number 32. So وَإِذَا رَأَوْهُمْ إِظْهَار on the meme sakina. قَالُوا مَدْ مُنْفَصِل. So you can read it 2 haraka or 4 to 5. إِنَّ حركتين. Then هَؤُلَا ha 2 haraka or 4 to 5. Then la'i, that's one word. So that's going to be mad 4 to 5 haraka. ضالون. That's going to be 6 haraka. And here ضالون. Emphasize on the lam afterwards, inshallah. The next ayah, وَمَا أُرْسِلُوا, again mad munfasil. على الأرائك 4 to 5 حركة. Okay, مد متصل. And then ينظرون, you got إخفاء حركتين. And the run at the end, again between 2 and 6 of إشباه. And that's the end of the surah, inshallah. Barakallah feekum jameen. Jazakallah for joining. Today was the last session. Jazakallah, brother Mustafa.
Jazakallah.
Barakallah. So today was the last lesson of the Chemistry of Tajweed al-Huruf series. So inshallah, we will have some more programs coming on. We've got Muqaddimah Ibn al-Jazari starting next month. You could apply for that now on Eventbrite. If you go to the Eventbrite website, just type in Darul Qurra and you'll see that you've got an event starting, a course starting next month. That's going to be taught by Sheikh Israr Hussain from Nottingham. He's going to be teaching the Muqaddimah Ibn Jazari. And majority of the questions that you might have in regards to Tajweed and in regards to Quran, most of the masail are discussed in Muqaddimah Ibn al-Jazari. So in the Al-Muqaddimah, Imam Ibn al-Jazari rahimahumullah has spoken about Makharij al-Huruf in depth, Sifat al-Huruf in depth, and then all the rules in depth, as well as Waqf in depth, and also Ibtada in depth. So inshallah that will be very, very beneficent. Those who have previously studied this great work of Imam Ibn Jazari with me, I recommend you to enroll into the course again and study it all over again, inshallah. And with Muqaddimah Ibn Jazari, just like the Tuhfa al-Atfal, there will be an ijaza given to the students who successfully complete the exam at the end, inshallah. There will be some more courses starting, inshallah. And all the courses, inshallah, we're going to be keeping them on YouTube rather than Zoom or on any other platform because they're restricted in numbers that we could have. And plus then we could view them later on as well. Students can benefit, inshallah. I'll quickly go through any of the questions in regards to today, and then I will take leave, inshallah. Okay, Why are the lips rounded when pronouncing the letter Ra when this is not part of the makhraj or its sifat? No, the letter Ra you don't round. That's not a condition. The letter Ra is either full mouth or empty mouth. But then it depends on what type of word, what type of waqf you're doing upon the Ra, and then also the haraka at the end of the Ra as well. So by rolling, when you recite the letter Ra, Ar, Ra, 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 so your lips come to a round circle. Where? Come here. Sorry. So the lips do come round. Ar, ar. Okay, you can't read ar and full mouth. Ar, arra'a, arra'a. It's impossible. So when you recite a ra full mouth, your lips will come round, but won't come round like wow, to that extent. But your lips will come into a round, a circular fashion, but not to that extent, inshallah. Sorry, I'm finding it hard to concentrate. Sarah, can you take it, please? How good, you're going to have to face the wall now. When I finish, you're facing the wall. The Baba upset now. MashaAllah. Is this Maqam Hijaz? So please, can you clarify the following point about waw and ya in mad condition? What are the sifat for maddiya and ya maddiya? Do they have the same characteristics as alif in mad condition? I mentioned this last week in regards to the Y letters. I'm gonna make you face the wall now. That's it. You're gonna face the wall. When alif, waw, and ya, maddiya, the main the sifat are, so waw, ya, and alif, but all three of them have the sifa of jahar. They all have the sifa of ismat too. They all have the sifa of rikhawa. They all have sifa of istifal, and they all have sifa of infitah. They're your five. So you have jahar, you have ismat, you have rikhawa, istifal, infitah. So they're not, there's no itbaq in there, you don't hold your breath. They're your five sifat where you've got opposites. The two waw and ya have another sifa, which is the sifa of lean, whereas alif does not have lean. So waw and ya have the sifa of lean as a sifa number 6, and alif does not have the sifa of lean. That's a good little test. Barakallah feek. So that's the so I remember mentioning this at the end of last week when we were studying the makharij and sifat, where you can get this sajda dua. Sajda dua, I did mention, I'll send it into the WhatsApp group. I'll send it again, inshallah. Is it important to pronounce the letter Ra full mouth without rounding your lips? Try it and you will see it. It's impossible to pronounce. Yes, that's exactly what I mentioned. So it's impossible. Lips don't round with pronouncing the letter Ra. No, the lips do round, but not like the letter Waw, where it's narrowed to that extent. But they are in a circular fashion. Ustad, can you please explain the Tasheel and Ibdal, Rom and Ishmam? I can't explain them now. They will be covered in the Muqaddimah Jazariya in depth. Imam Ibn Jazari talks about Ishmam, how to do work upon Ishmam and Arom, how to pronounce how to make the lips in a madmum fashion. He also talks about in regards to the haraka, reading the part of the haraka as well. So, Sister Maisha, please join the Muqaddimah Ibn Jazari's course for next month. So good for you, sisters. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala give you all ajr and reward, inshallah. We've got Imam Ammar Hafiz has just joined us, even though I was going to finish the lesson off. So I think maybe we listen to a short recitation from Imam Ammar Hafiz, if they want to get themselves ready before I just throw them into the deep end. You might as well start coughing and clear your throat, because you're coming right into the live broadcast now. Thrown into the deep end.
No, not WhatsApp. Text message. Text message.
Sabar,
You're not listening to me.
I'll tell you a little bit about Imam Ammar Hafiz. They are a graduate from Jamaat al-Karam in Nottingham. And prior to studying Deen, they also have a degree, a bachelor's degree before they studied Islam. So they are an academic who studied, and just like many of us, well, not me, but many of our younger generation today, where they studied GCSEs and A levels, and then went to university, completed the degree, and then normally you'll go straight into a job. You'll go into a job and you work 9 to 5, whatnot. But Imam Saab did not do that. He refused to go into a 9 to 5 job, and he went to Jamaat al-Karam, where they studied the Islamic sciences. He graduated from Jamaat al-Karam, and then he traveled to Egypt. And then in Egypt, he studied with some great scholars. One of the Aimma from Jamaat al-Azhar, they studied with. And then they went and also studied with the Imam and the resident Qari of Masjid Sayyidina Imam Hussein, which is literally a stone throw behind me here. He also enrolled into Jamaat al-Azhar under the tutelage of Dr. Hamdallah. Under the tutelage of Dr. Hamdallah, he studied the sciences of Tajwīd, who presented him with a ijaza and sanad from Jamaat al-Azhar al-Sharif. And now he's back in the UK teaching and serving the young Muslims of Britain. So a great role model for many of us, those, especially those who have studied and have obtained their degrees in the worldly sciences. Imam Sahib is a great example to follow, and then, throw yourself towards Deen and throw yourself towards Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. One of my teachers used to mention, when they used to explain خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ وَعَلَّمَهُ, and they used to mention that the best amongst you is he who learns the Quran and then teaches others. And they mentioned that's, خَيْرُكُمْ مَنْ تَعَلَّمَ الْقُرْآنَ, وَعَلَّمَهُ. You're the best. You're better than a doctor who saves lives. You're better than, a dentist. You're better than any occupation out there. Somebody who studies the Quran and teaches the Quran to others. They also used to mention that if your son becomes a doctor, or if your son becomes a lawyer, or an architect, they can't do nothing for you once you pass away from this dunya. And the example they used to give, they used to say that a doctor can't save your life. If you're on your deathbed and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, wants you to return back to him, Adam, come here. quickly. Take Hagar. Hagar, go. Go. If you're on your deathbed and your son's a doctor, he can't stop the Malakul Maut, the angel of death. And they used to mention that if your son is an architect, he can't build you a palace, for you to go and rest in peace. Okay, you're gonna have a normal grave, 6 foot deep and whatever your length of your body is. So even an architect's son can't give you the comfort in your grave. And then they mentioned that having a son who's a lawyer, a barrister, he can't stand in the court of Allah on the day of judgment and argue your case that, my father, my mother, they were innocent, they were decent, they were good people, and they were good citizens of Islam. So they won't be able to benefit you. So they used to mention that all three will fail. And who would benefit or who will surpass? Take her. Hagar, go inside now. No, you can't wait here. So they said that none of them will be able to benefit you, and the one who will benefit you is the one who used to come and study Quran and learn Quran and teach others Quran. So the Hafiz, the one who has memorized the Quran, on the day of judgment, he will be asked to recite the Quran very slow and to run as fast as he can and take from the hellfire as many as he can and put them into Jannah. So it's very, very important to encourage our children, our younger generation, to learn Quran, to have that nisbah, have that connection with Quran, inshallah. So I'll bring in Imam Sahib in now. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah.
وعليكم السلام ورحمة الله وبركاته.
How are you?
Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah.
We were just talking about somebody, but alhamdulillah, all well. We want to hear some Quran from you, and then inshallah we finish the session.
إن شاء الله. أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى والضحى والليل إذا سجى ما ودعك ربك وما قلى وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث والضحى والليل
السلام
إذا
عليكم ورحمة الله تعالى
سجى
وبركاته.
ما ودعك ربك وما
السلام عليكم
قلى
ورحمة الله تعالى وبركاته.
وللآخرة خير لك من الأولى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ولسوف يعطيك ربك فترضى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ألم يجدك يتيما فآوى ووجدك ضالا فهدى ووجدك عائلا فأغنى فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث فأما اليتيم فلا تقهر وأما السائل فلا تنهر وأما بنعمة ربك فحدث صدق الله العظيم. جزاك الله خير. تقبل الله منا ومنكم. الحمد لله رب العالمين. Seems like Ustad Abu Adam have disappeared at the back.
Assalamu alaikum. Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
How are
Can you
you?
hear me?
I could hear you now. I don't know if it
I
was
think
me
I
or
have some sound issues on my side.
your side or my side, because it just crashed and came back.
No.
MashaAllah. Imam Sahib, I just want to ask you one question and then we finish, inshallah. What inspired you after your degree that you got from a secular university? It disappeared. MashaAllah. Allah Ta'ala bless him, inshallah. Barakallah feekum jami'an, inshallah. Jazakallah for taking your time out and joining us in this course. And Jazakallah for all of your love and efforts for Tajweed and Quran. I appreciate everything, inshallah. And do join into the next course, Muqaddama Jazariya, inshallah. It will be beneficial for everybody, inshallah. Keep me in your du'as, inshallah. Until next time, inshallah. Fi imanillah. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi ta'ala wa barakatuh.